Thank you so much for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz,
And I'm entrepreneur Breezy Gipson.
and we're glad that you're with us. We got another show lined up for you that is just filled with music industry news. Been a lot of things going on, and we picked out the cream of the crop for you to share with you, just so you can be informed. And who knows, you may even get sparked with some ideas to kind of help you with your career as well.
That's right.
All right. And of course, we got to give a super huge shout out to our home stations, Grand Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to hop to it. So let's just go.
Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on the Music Marvels Radio Show. Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on the Music Marvels Radio Show. Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen. All right, we're back with music industry news. First off, Amazon has eliminated some jobs in their music division in a new round of cuts. So, sources say that there was an unknown amount of editorial and audio content team positions that are going to be affected as the company is doing what they call prioritizing their organization's needs. So, unfortunately, we've been hearing quite a few of these kinds of stories due to the economy. It's affected just about every sector, kind of all across the platform, but technology and music has been getting hit pretty hard with all the stuff going on. So, hey, there's some things just to be aware of. If you notice any lulls or changes in music and getting your stuff updated, that could be one of those things that we might see falling out from this, or who knows, it might be somewhat of a seamless transition, but just kind of an FYI and a heads up.
Yep, somewhat of a seamless transition. Yep.
All right. Music funding platform Beatbread has launched advances of up to $3 million for songwriters, and they hired BMG's Spencer LaBeouf. So the new songwriting advance division can advance songwriters up to $3 million against the publishing rights on their catalog or their catalog and future songs. So they actually have some options. They can customize the scope as far as the terms, like how long it'll actually last, the size of the repayments that are going to be recouped from their streaming and airplay revenues that they've earned. So, they've already been doing this for artists, but now that they're advancing it to songwriters, that kind of gives you an indication that they're already kind of banking for things to be going well for songwriters in the upcoming year. So it's just something to know. And especially if you actually use Beatbread, it might be something that you want to take advantage of.
Bing. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right, and Apple Music has added a Listening Now real-time music analytics. So there's a new widget within Apple Music's dashboard, and it offers a detailed view of your Listening Now trends from the past 48 hours. So as suggested by their names, the maximum listeners shows the highest count of listeners you've reached within that time frame, while average listeners, of course, shows the mean number of listeners over that same 48-hour period. So, this is a big deal, a good feature to be able to utilize if you can. Of course, you have to reach a certain threshold. They haven't shared exactly what that minimum is in order to be able to use that particular feature. But hey, if you're listening to this show and tuning in, you probably already got the tips you need to make sure that you hit that amount of listeners. But yeah, another feature that they've added too was the Top Songs Now section. So you can get a quick view of your top 6 most played songs within the 48 hours. So yeah, it's always good when you can get new analytics or some that tend to be a little more detailed than what's been available before, because it can kind of help you know how your music is resonating with your audience, who's a part of your audience, where they're from, some of their listening habits and things like that. So yeah, anytime you can get a hold of information like that, it's very, very, very beneficial.
Yep. And hey, keep it right here. You'll find out what's going on. So music analytics is really, really important.
Mm-hmm. All right, Warner Music has joined Deezer's lead with the new artist-centric royalty model. So, of course, the move was announced with Universal, and now Warner's a part of it. And apparently, sources say that it's actually been in effect since October 1st. So, yeah, with this going on, we kind of wondered if people were going to be adopting it, and so far, so good. So that's two of the majors in behind this. Just in case you weren't really familiar, or if you missed the episode where we kind of talked about what that encompassed in detail, there are three main components to the artist-centric model. And so for the first one, Deezer grants a double boost in streams to artists that surpass 1,000 plays from over 500 unique listeners. So, unlike what Spotify is doing, they're not taking money away from people who've earned less than that. You just get a little bit more once you hit that threshold. The second component is that if an artist's music is actively searched, the double boost doubles again. So that's different from the algorithm recommending your music to someone. But when, maybe you posted something in a TikTok story or on Instagram and somebody's like, ooh, I like that, I want to find it. And then when they actually go into Deezer and type your name in, then you get more money because you actually brought them to the platform or kept them there. The third component is that Deezer's going to substitute non-artist noise content with its functional music, which will remove the monetization from all noise content. So they're trying to, again, make sure that they're focusing on the artists, not people who just create, things to kind of game the system, which is another thing that Spotify could have done. Just take some pages out of Deezer's book. It's already there, but hey, we'll keep rolling with this the way that things move. But yeah, just some major things to know. And if you're not on the artist-centric royalty side, let us know what we can do to kind of pull you over to the side. It'd definitely be much better for all artists involved. All right, Hybe has acquired the Latin music label Exile Music, and they've launched the Mexico-based Latin music arm called Hybe Latin America. So just to give you some statistics, again, this is something that we've mentioned on here quite a few times, but in 2022, Latin music exceeded the $1 billion threshold in U.S. recorded revenue. And by the first half of this year, had already generated $627 million in gross revenue. And we're just talking about within the U.S. So, it's been the buzz. People have been talking about it ever since the early part of last year. But people are noticing that things are happening within the genre and everybody kind of wants a part of it. So Hybe's plan is to apply K-pop's proven methodology and apply it to the Latin genre. And so they aim to establish what they're calling a localized training and development and an A&R system through their new division. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this goes. One thing that I would love to see from this big boom that we're seeing with Latin music in the US is for the genre to be a little bit better defined, because there's so many genres within that instead of just grouping the category based on the language that's spoken. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can start to see some more drill downs on top of that to kind of get a better look at what's actually kind of moving people and making them come to the streaming services to check it out. Wouldn't you agree?
I would totally agree. Check that out. Don't miss out. That's how I always say.
All right. Social music creation platform BandLab has added music distribution to its suite of tools via partnership with Fuga. So BandLab distribution is only accessible via their membership plan, which is priced at $14.95 a month. And so they're going to give distribution to platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and TikTok. Artists get to retain 100% of their royalties through the distribution service as long as they maintain an active membership. That's a really, really important nugget to hold on to, because if an artist decides to cancel their membership, they'll continue receiving 100% of their royalties until the billing cycle ends. But after that, they'll only receive 80% while BandLab retains the remaining 20%. So yeah, you only get to keep your royalties as long as you're willing to shell out that $14.95 a month now, because as we've seen with every other subscription service, prices always increase. So you already know that's coming. So yeah, it's just one little caveat to kind of be aware of. If keeping 100% of your royalties is important to you. If it's not, if you're cool with the 80%, then hey, why not go for it? But yeah, it's 14.95 now, but you know it's not going to stay that way into perpetuity. So, some information if you use BandLab or want to use BandLab, but the big takeaway if you don't, just to be aware of, checking the terms of agreements whenever you're choosing a distributor. A lot of times, maybe this isn't fine print, but sometimes, it's kind of hidden in the details. So make sure that you're checking it out thoroughly and thinking ahead. Because while, $15 a month doesn't seem that bad now, what happens when it's 20, 30, 40, whatever? Is that something that you're going to want to maintain for as long as your music is out there on various platforms?
Yeah, that's better jump on that price, just like she said.
Well, no, don't jump on the price. Be aware of that. It's only that for right now. Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of low, but it's probably not going to stay that way. So, yeah, just something to consider. All right. TikTok has struck a partnership with Spotify and Amazon to link the app directly to the music streaming services that you use. So, the new add to music app feature will let you save songs that you find on TikTok via streaming services wherever. So if you use Amazon, you're checking out something, you're like, oh, I love this track. You tap the button, it'll automatically save it to your Amazon playlist. So that way you can listen to it the next time that you're streaming. So, this is a big deal and also something to kind of be aware of because this can affect you as an artist in a very positive way if you take advantage. But yeah, it's also available for Apple Music users too. And it's going to be rolled out in the upcoming weeks in the US and the UK. And of course, they'll be testing in more markets to follow. But yeah, the big takeaway from this, make sure your music is distributed on TikTok. Then once you do that, also make sure that you share more videos with your music. Make sure that you're adding your music to as much relevant content as you can. So, hey, you're posting something, maybe you drive, maybe you had a live that you wanted to keep or something and, uploaded it to TikTok, whatever it is, make sure that you're adding your music because as the algorithm feeds your videos, your content to people, then that's more exposure for your music. And now it's even easier to access it and help you gain more streams that way.
A great tip. Great tip.
All right. And apparently somebody else is interested in BMI and they've put a $2 billion plus proposal on the table. So we shared a while back that private equity firm New Mountain Capital had put down a $1.7 billion bid, which was a pretty decent multiplier deal that they were actually considering. But sources say that BMI has received a $2.175 billion bid, to be exact, from an unknown special purposes acquisition company that previously specialized in non-entertainment sector technology. So, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of speculation going on to who that actually is, but they're keeping their name out of the news for right now, I guess, until we see how things go. But this particular company that put the bigger bid up says that it would be a better outcome for songers than a private equity acquisition. So the fact that they specify that kind of, adds more speculation around, okay, well, who is this if they say that it'll be better if they own it than someone else? So, once again, it's just kind of the behind the scenes buzz that's been going on. But as more information comes in or is solidified and confirmed, we'll definitely pass that along to you.
Hey, that's a good one.
All right, YouTube is going to require creators to flag AI generated content, and they're going to add new ways to request removal of deepfakes, including music videos that mimic an artist's voice. So, we've talked about this multiple times. Everybody's heard about like some of the fake tracks that have been going on. Anytime these articles refer to it, they always bring up quote unquote fake Drake or the fake Weekend. But now there's going to be an easier way to remove that. So that way artists who haven't given their approval don't have to worry about their content being repurposed that way. At least I should say not on display for a while with this new rule that YouTube's adding. So within the next few months, YouTube's going to introduce updates that'll inform viewers when the content is synthetic. So any YouTubers who consistently violate the disclosure rule will probably get their accounts removed, suspension from the YouTube partner program, all the typical things that they do, any other penalties they can think of. But basically, AI generated content is going to be labeled in two different areas. One will be the description panel to indicate that some of the content is quote unquote either altered or synthetic, and also in the video player for certain types of content about what they're considering sensitive topics. And that's in quotes too. So, I'm not sure what all the details or things that they consider sensitive, but I think this is a good idea, especially while we're learning all the potential pitfalls of AI generated content. Yeah, it's good to kind of make sure that people are aware, so that way they're not being duped into believing something that's not true. And yeah, regardless of how you feel about it, I've said this multiple times, it's here, but it's just more about trying to manage it in a more ethical way. And I think this is a good step towards that.
Yeah, it is a great step.
All right. Well, that does it for this week's edition of Music
Well,
Marvels with it.
actually, I got a tidbit.
All
And
right.
it's just great to see that the Funk Jazz Cafe was really represented in the Horn Brothers Atlanta Journal-Constitution Films The South Got Something to Say documentary. Now that's streaming now for free on ajc.com/hip hop, ajc.com/hip hop. And there's a lot of, and it's also at the Earwax Records exhibit in the history of Atlanta hip hop. So Funk Jazz Cafe has really touched on a lot of different artistic disciplines, and as many as one could imagine, and along through history. So I've reached out to their originator, the one and only Jason Orr, about coming back and sharing with our listeners again. And he's checking his schedule to see when he can get an opening, and really hyped about coming back to join us. So yeah, Funk Jazz Cafe still in the mix, and they're in that documentary. And so check it out at ajc.com/hip hop.
All right. So that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you for tuning in. We thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Atlanta, Georgia. And you know what? We really appreciate you. Already looking forward to next week. How about you?
Oh yeah, in the mix.
All right. Well, you know where to find us. Till next time, tune in, tell a friend. We'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.